Good morning. It is 5:20 a.m. It is, what is it? January 23rd, 5:20 a.m. The Oscar nominations are about to go live in 10 minutes, and that's what I'm here to do. I am here to talk about the nominations as they happen. And we've been waiting for this for quite a while now. Like, this is obviously the point of everything that we've talked about. And I am excited. I am truly excited to just get down to it and talk about the Oscars and kind of just know what they are thinking. I mean, quite literally, there has been such a question of like what is going to happen. Uh, and I'm very curious to see. So, as we join me, there's going to be 9 minutes. There's going to be just a lot of what's it called? There's going to be a lot of answers being had. And I think some of the big things that I'm going in thinking is what what that we were suspecting will actually come to fruition. And by that I mean what are the films that I've kind of expected might happen actually do happen and which don't come to bear. And let's just talk about a few, which I am specifically looking at the best actress race. What is going to happen in that race? And if you guys are watching live, thank you so much. And always feel free to leave a comment and I can respond to it live here. But what is going to happen? And obviously, there's a few big ones. I know the Substance is a film that I'm really curious to see if it overperforms today or if we're overrating it a bit. Is this a film that it could actually not get the nomination for Demi Moore? I'm unsure. I really hope it can get the nomination for Demi Moore, but we're not going to be sure until a few moments from here. Is this a film that gets Margaret Qualley her nomination? What is the international films going to look like? Is a film from Brazil like I'm Still Here? Is it really going to give Fernanda Torres the nomination that we all suspect that it might? Like I said, I am very curious to see what will happen. We have another one like Marine uh, Jean Baptiste for Hard Truths that I think a lot of people are looking at. And then on the meantime, we have a few other films that I think are just right on the bubble. I am very curious to see Best Supporting Actress. That is one that I am definitely looking at. I'm going to pull up my list right now. I have all my list here. That way I can kind of cross reference it as they're doing the nominations, but I wanted to see what I had predicted for Best Supporting Actress. I had as my five Zoe Saldana, Ariana Grande, Monica Barbero, Isabella Rossellini, Selena Gomez, which means Margaret Qualley, Felicity Jones, and Danielle Deadweiler are on the outside looking in right now. I'll be fully honest. I don't know if I'd change mine, but I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, I still kind of think Felicity Jones will get in, even though I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the Brutalist. So that's again what I just want to see right now. So let's focus on me. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. This is 5:20 a.m. for me in California, so I'm going live, and you can might be able to tell I am like I'm tired. So yeah, so I apologize if I'm a little low energy at times, but I am still waking up because they insist on doing this award ceremony nominations at 5:30. You got to feel for the entire press in LA who probably had to start waking up at 4 a.m. to get there at 5:30. But let's look at some of the other nominations that I think are in the race that I find very fascinating. International feature is another one. Right now, my 5 as predicted, I felt pretty sure on Emilia Perez in Seat of a Sacred Fig. I think I'm Still Here is probably a safe third. And then I had Flow, and then I had From Ground Zero. There's a few honorable mentions, but the one that I keep looking at, I'm like, is Kneecap growing? If Kneecap's growing, like, what is that taking in? I don't feel great about saying that Latvia gets in for Flow, but I could be wrong there. Actor in a supporting role, this was maybe and honestly one of my biggest risks is I have Kieran Culkin, I had Edward Norton, I have Guy Pearce, I have Yor Borisov for Nora. And then my fifth is still Denzel Washington for Gladiator II, which means Jeremy Strong is on the outside looking in. And Jeremy Strong, I think, gives my favorite supporting performance of this year, just straight up. Like, he is so incredible in The Apprentice. And to see him not get the nomination, I honestly find a bit baffling. if he does miss out. And this isn't actually a dig on Denzel, who I have as my fifth there. Like, I think Denzel's great in Gladiator 2 as well. Like, I'd want both of them to get it. Personally, I would bump off Norton for a complete unknown. And this is coming from somebody who worships at the idol of Edward Norton. I love him as an actor. And I think he's good in a complete unknown. I just, I didn't think he went above and beyond the same way that I would say Guy Pearce, who goes above and beyond in The Brutalist, your Borisov in Honora. Like, Norton's good in a complete unknown. I don't know if he's like great in it. But anyway, we'll start coming to some of these answers. There's a few that I wanted to say. Here are the films that I really wanted to stump for in the next, what feels like, few minutes before. Let's see how much time we have before 3 minutes and 30 seconds before they go live. There's a few that I was like, okay, let's see what they got. I am stumping for Sebastian Stan. I am officially saying it. I've been saying it all year, though. I want Sebastian Stan to get that fifth slot, and I really hope he gets in over Daniel Craig for Queer. And I think if you have Timothy Chalamet, Adrian Brody, Ray Fiennes, Coleman Domingo, and Sebastian Stan, that's about as perfect of a best actor list as you can get. I feel The Apprentice growing, and I also am very well aware of everything that's been happening the past 72 hours that could push a film like The Apprentice either over the top or, again, maybe get some people too scared to actually see and vote for it. So, as a recap, here are my 10 best picture predictions. Let me know, guys, if you're in the comments, if you're checking it out. One, thank you. Always and thankful for your guys' support. Anyone who's watching who's new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that like, and always feel free to leave a comment and I can react to it live since I am live. Here are my 10 best pictures. And I think most of you will agree with eight, probably nine. I have Honora. I have Emilia Perez. I have The Brutalist. I have Wicked. I have Conclave. I have Dune Part 2. I have A Real Pain. I have A Complete Unknown. I have The Substance. And then this is the one that is probably going to cause people to disagree with me. I have Nickel Boys at my number 10. Some people are predicting Sing Sing. Some people are predicting something else. I've seen September 5 thrown around at that 10 slot. I honestly don't know what will happen. I'm curious to see it myself. But we are 1 minute and 45 seconds away from the ceremony going live. So here's my prediction tallies. And this is an important number that we're going to have to come back to. And just as so everyone's aware, I will be doing a live reaction, not live, sorry. This is the 5:30 morning brain that I'm talking about. Tomorrow, I will be doing a recap of the nominations. So Friday morning, you'll see a video that will be essentially the five that I'm happy about and the five that I felt got snubbed. Here's my prediction tallies, though. In first place, I have Emilia Perez, and I'm predicting 14 nominations. Might be very high, but I feel like Emilia Perez is going to get into a lot of below the line categories. And I think Selena and Zoe are safe for 2 nominations in Best Supporting Actress. Second place, I have Conclave at 10, along with Wicked at 10. Then I have The Brutalist with 9 noms, Dune Part 2 with 8, Honora with 7, A Complete Unknown at 6, Gladiator 2 at 5. This is probably my biggest gamble. Oop, we are going live. Let me cut that and let me mute the volume. Here we go. It's going to be happening real soon. So, thank you all for joining. This program will begin shortly. Let's see what we got. Anyway, Gladiator 2, I had 5. The Substance, I had 5. Nickel Boys, I had 3. A Real Pain, I had 3. I'll be honest, that Nickel Boys at 3, a little worried about that number. This movie has not been performing particularly well. Just as an FYI, I will not be streaming the audio. I will have the video and I'll be able to recap it myself. But thank you, everyone who is joining me this fine Thursday morning at 5:30 a.m. Pacific. I hope some of you are maybe on the East Coast, so you guys could have slept in a little bit. I am tired, and I always support the arts. So here we are, and the looks like we are about to begin. I hope this is not a case of okay, yeah, screen's black on both. I was like, are they censoring it for some reason on my stream? They are not. The screen is just black. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Any minute now, Bowen Yang, Rachel Sennett are about to begin the ceremony. Here we go. And here we go. Let's see what happens. Feel free to comment along in the channel / in the chat below. They are about to announce Rachel Sennett and they are about to announce Bowen Yang. Some years they do it really quickly and we're in and out. And other years it's like the presenters kind of what's called stumble over their words and it's a little slow and it's a little like, ooh, what are we doing here? Or they mispronounce key names. Like, let's see what is about to happen. It looks like they are giving just a quick shout out to everything the wildfires that have devastated Southern California. Talking about the Oscars bringing us all together. I'm sure you can all see it. I have the subtitles on as well. Okay, does anyone have any final predictions? Anyone have any that they're like, this will probably happen? Let me know in the comments below and we'll talk about them as we see them. I Somebody said there was a list published somewhere of who the nomination or like the orders that it will be in. I haven't seen that list. I tried finding it so I could have my list in order as well, so I could kind of say what I got right and what I got wrong as we go. But here we go. Rachel Sennett, Bowen Yang are out here. I hope it's about as straightforward. They don't need to banter that much. Let's see what we get. Luckily, there's both two people who, despite their comedic sides, do respect the art very much. All right, guys, welcome to the people that I see in the chat. Just thank you for being here. And don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to leave comments along the way. Actor in a supporting role. The nominees are mine are Kieran, Edward, Guy Pearce, Yora, and Jeremy and Denzel. Kieran, so Chu, Edward, yep. Guy Pearce, yep. They're teasing us. Jeremy Strong, yes, The Apprentice. We are so in. Denzel Washington misses in. Jeremy Strong in for The Apprentice. Costume design. I know I have Wicked in this category for sure. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator II. I was right on that. Nosferatu. Oh, Nosferatu gets bottom line. Wicked. I had Wicked, Dune Part 2, Gladiator, Complete Unknown, Conclave. So I had Dune Part 2. It looks like I was wrong on that one. Makeup and hairstyling. I know I have this one written down. I have The Wicked, The Substance, Emilia Perez, The Different Man, and Dune Part 2. A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu. Okay, I don't think I had a single Nosferatu in here. The Substance, cool. Wicked. Dune Part 2 missed out on another category. Is this in trouble for below the line? Original score. Brutalist, Conclave, Challengers, Wicked, Emilia Perez is what I have. Brutalist, yep. Conclave, yep. Emilia Perez, yep. Wicked, duh. The Wild Robot Challengers snubbed. Too bad. That's a great score from Challengers. So I'm actually sad to see that one. Live action short film. Okay, I didn't write down anything for this one. I don't know this category particularly well. Good morning. It is good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Hope it's not as early as a morning for you. For me, it's 5:30 a.m. But good morning, Roger. Thanks for joining. Okay, we're back. Again, I didn't do the live shorts. I just whatever the Academy ends up voting for is that's what I end up seeing because I don't see these films. It's got to be cool for Bowen Yang, though, obviously a member of the Wicked cast, to then see the film get as much love. He's also really good in Wicked. Like, I want to give him some props. He's really funnily used in that movie. And I know I mispronounced it. Again, apologies. This is 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Bowen Yang's about to announce one. Adapted screenplay. I forgot. I have Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, Dune Part 2, Sing Sing. And I know I already missed The Complete Unknown because I wasn't a believer in that screenplay getting in because I thought it was more of music. I'm already wrong on that. Conclave, Emilia Perez, I have right. Nickel Boys, I had on an honorable mention, but that's a big nomination for Ramel Ross to get. And then Sing Sing, that's interesting. Dune Part 2 snubbed again in this category. I went 4 for 5. No, I went 3 for 5. Which one missed out? Did Amelia Perez? No, I guess Wicked missed out in that category. I'll have to go back and look at that one. Nora original screenplay, obviously. I have Nora Brutalist, Real Pain Substance, Seed of a Sacred Fig. Yep, the Brutalist in there, Real Pain in there. September 5. That is our first sighting of September 5. That's interesting. The Substance. Cool. And now we're getting commercials. What are we doing? Why are we showing commercials right now? Skip. Actress in a supporting role. I have Zoe, Ariana, Monica, Isabella, Selena. Yep. Monica Barbero. Yep. Ariana Grande. Yep. Felicity Jones in there. Isabella Rossellini in there. Are we not going to see Zoe? Okay. So I was wrong on Selena Gomez, and at Margaret Qualley does not get in. Disappointment to me. I wanted to see Margaret Qualley get in. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I'm doing good on some predictions and doing bad on others. So let's see how this streak continues. I think I've overrated Amelia Perez a little bit more. Not like I still think Amelia Perez is still going to get like 10 to 11, but I do believe it's missed out on a few categories. We'll be right back. Nominations will continue at 5:41. They're teasing us, guys. They're teasing us. So let's get back to me for a second. Everyone who's watching, let me know, how are you guys feeling about these nominations thus far? Like I said, there's a few big ones that I missed off the bat, and let me see if I can pull the list myself. Let me see if I can get us Oscar nominations so we can kind of go back as we're waiting for this. People's updating this, so I will update it as well. Da-da-da. So obviously, the big one for me is Jeremy Strong. And I'll obviously be talking about that. That is the one that I'm most happy about. And does that spell good things to come for Sebastian Stan in a few minutes? We shall see. Yoro, Kieran, Edward, Guy Pearce, Jeremy Strong. Best costume design. Nosferatu getting in is cool there. Like I said, I had been suspecting Gladiator II. I'm trying to think what were some of the other categories, and I'm like, I want to see where's the adapted screenplay. That's the one that I want to actually like look into real quick. Adapted. Oh, they haven't updated it yet. This is what happens when you go to People Magazine. Let's go to the Hollywood Reporter. Are they not updating it? Oh my god, why are people not updating this list live? Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Adapted, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing. So, Wicked missed out here, which honestly I was a bit surprised to see. That was probably more surprising than me. Dune Part 2 is missing out. Dune Part 2, let's just kind of do a quick command search. I don't know if that's spelling trouble, the fact that I can't do a command search for Dune Part 2. I'm not seeing a ton of Dune Part 2 nominations here though. That is there any chance it misses Best Picture? If this misses Best Picture, like we're in for trouble here. Good morning to everyone watching. Thank you for joining me. 5:40 a.m. Pacific. How are you guys feeling about the nominations right now? I will say the one that I obviously messed up the worst on is Best Supporting Actress. I got Zoe, I got Ariana, I got Monica, I got Isabella. Okay, I guess I didn't mess up that bad. So my mess up was predicting so much on Selena Gomez and not giving in to Felicity Jones, which honestly, maybe I should have relented at the end. I don't know. I was really bullish on the Selena Gomez nomination, and that one obviously cost me. Uh, Original screenplay. I think so. It's Honora the Brutalist, September 5, and the Substance, and then was it or Honora the Brutalist, the Real Pain, the Substance, and then was it September 5 that I got wrong there? I was really saying an international film was going to make the cut, and I hope I'm live. To the people in the comments section, can you just let me know if I'm still live? I believe I am. It says that I am. Showed an error message on my side. I'm like, uh-oh, is something going wrong? Please don't let anything go wrong as I'm recording live and have woken up at 5:40 a.m. to do this. Oh, yeah, yeah. I think I'm good. We're going to get these nominations back in a second. What's the gap? I guess so people can write real quick, like text, like maybe they need a smoke break. You're good. Cool. I'm the good. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Glad to hear that. Thank you for being up with me this morning, Ruby. Ruby 8 Ball. Oh, we'll be back in a second as we get these nominations. This is the weird part for me. This is the part that makes it hard for me. Uh, like when the nominations are going, I just get to like vamp based on what I'm seeing. Right now, I just got to vamp on a 5:30 a.m. brain. Like that's rough for me. I'm not a morning person. I don't really start my day until like 7 a.m. and I have to go to work at 7:30 a.m. So like that's the tough thing for me. Like 7 a.m. is already kind of tough for me. Like I woke up at 4:50 a.m. this morning to start getting ready, and it's just like, come on, why are we doing it so early? I don't understand why can't these happen at 6, maybe 7? It'd be so much more easier on everybody. Nominations will be back. Okay, what do people expect to see in the latter half? What are people predicting right now? Let me know in the comments. Is there anything people are predicting to see in uh the second half of the awards announcements? Okay? I know a bunch of people are hoping Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. If we saw an adapted screenplay, or maybe it's original, I think it was an adapted of I'm Still Here, like that was to me a guarantee that Fernanda gets in. And again, I don't necessarily think it's not a guarantee that she gets in now, like, or like that she won't get in now. Like, I'm not saying that. I will just say, like, if that happened, I was like, yep, it's basically safe to the bank. Rachel and Bowen are back. Let's see what the next category is going to be. Sorry, I just like blinked to forget to talk. I was like, they're gonna announce it, but no, they have to do a little bit of banter before we start. Because God forbid this went quick. God forbid some of us could take like a nice 30-minute power nap before work. Come on, come on, come on. They're talking about Bowen Yang right now. Original song. Okay, I actually think I have all 5 locked. I had 2 Emilia Perez songs. I had the Elton John song, and I had the Diane Warren song, and I had the Wild Robot song. Like a Bird from Sing Sing, that's really good for Sing Sing. So who missed out here? Oh, I had the Wild Robot song getting in. So I think did the Wild Robot also miss score? I think it might have missed score as well. So it's really only getting to get the one. Documentary, I have no clue. All I'm hoping to see is Will and Harper here. I had Sugarcane, No Other Land, Daughters, Porcelain War, The Remarkable Life of Evelyn. Black Box Diaries, I should have kind of expected. No Other Land, Porcelain War, soundtrack to a coup d'etat, Sugarcane. Okay, that's actually a really cool list, and I'm glad those are the 5 that I'm going to be able to talk about. I wish Will and Harper had got in here. Documentary short film, again, this is one that I'll watch as we get closer to it. I wasn't going to try seeking out / I don't know how to seek out the short films pre-nomination, so that's where I'm like, I'm not going to be able to give any form of judgment here. That's a cool list of documentaries, guys. Like that's a lot of really good ones. Check out Sugarcane. It's on Disney Plus now if you haven't gotten the chance. It's a really good international feature film. I know a lot of people are excited about this category right here. I'm Still Here, Brazil. Huge win for Brazil. The Girl with the Needle, Emilia Perez. The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Is Flo gonna? Yep, here we go. So I had Emilia, Seed of Sacred Fig, I'm Still Here, Flow, and then From Ground Zero. So the girl with the needle gets in, kneecapped, missed out. Animated feature film, I think this is going to be an easy 5 for 5 for me. I have Flow, I have The Wild Robot, I have Inside Out 2, I have Wallace and Gromit, and I have Memoir of a Snail. I'd be so shocked if that didn't happen. It's unless something weird's about to happen, which it won't. The Wild Robot, yeah, this was the easiest 5 for 5 in the world. Anyone saying differently was crazy. There was nothing else competing in that category. Production design. I have The Brutalist, Wicked, Dune Part 2, Conclave, Gladiator 2. If Dune Part 2 misses out here, I'm going to be like, what's going on? Okay, yeah. It's there. Nosferatu. Okay, Nosferatu is performing well. Is it going to be the 10th? Wicked. I had Gladiator 2, which I think missed out in that category, so that's interesting. Film editing. Obviously, I overrated Gladiator 2. Film editing, I had The Brutalist, Emilia Perez, Nora, Conclave, Nickel Boys. Brutalist, Nora, Conclave? Yep. Emilia Perez? Yep. Is it going to be Nickel Boys? Wicked. Wicked gets into editing. That basically secures its Best Picture nomination, even if like we all kind of knew it was secured before. Sound. Wicked, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, A Complete Unknown, Gladiator 2. A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez. Wicked. Yep. We're going to get weird. The Wild Robot gets into sound. Again, I had Gladiator 2 here. I clearly overpredicted Gladiator 2. I was wrong on that. I will admit I didn't think we were going to get Wild Robot in here. Visual effects, Alien Romulus, Betterment, Jesus Christ, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Are we going to see Wicked here? Wicked. I had Dune Part 2, Wicked, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Alien Romulus, Gladiator 2. Again, another miss for me with Gladiator 2. I bet too hard on Ridley Scott this year and will probably make the same mistake again next year. Cinematography, I have The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, and Emilia Perez and Nickel Boys. Brutalist, Dune Part 2, yep. Emilia Perez, yep. Maria. Big one for Maria and a good one for Maria. Nosferatu. I'm actually really annoyed that Nickel Boys doesn't get into this category. That's incredible cinematography. Actor. Are we going to see Sebastian Stan? Adrian Brody, obviously. Timothy Chalamet, obviously. Coleman Domingo, obviously. Ray Fiennes, obviously. They are teasing us. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. The Apprentice lives Daniel Craig out. Sebastian Stan in for his Trump movie. Huge. That probably means we're getting actress Fernanda Torres, Demi Moore right now. Are we going to see it? Cynthia Erivo, duh. Carla Sofia Gascon, duh. Mikey Madison, duh. Demi Moore, we're in. Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, and the country of Brazil rejoices. I think I just went 5 for 5 in that category as well. I predicted right. Directing, I have Brady, Sean Baker, Audiard, Berger, and Farge. Honora, The Brutalist. A Complete Unknown mangled in that probably spells doom for Farge. Emilia Perez. The Substance. Oh, Berger was the expense. I don't hate that. I actually don't hate that. I feel a little bad for Berger. I thought that was actually kind of a safe nomination. Berger misses The Substance in. That's all I care about. And Best Picture. I have Nora, Emilia Perez, The Brutalist, Wicked, Conclave, Doom Part 2, Real Pain, Complete Substance, The Substance, Nick Boys. Nora, yes. We all know. We're going to get anything weird? The Brutalist, yep. This is the obvious ones. They really know how to tease us with the stuff that we're like probably going to happen. A Complete Unknown, yes. I guess it's just alphabetical order. Does that mean The Apprentice is out? Conclave, yes. Obviously, we knew The Apprentice was going to be out. Dune Part 2? Does that mean Dune Part 2? Yep, 5. I have a real pain in this category. Just keep that in mind. Emilia Perez, yes. Would that be? I'm trying to think what would be the next alphabetical. I'm Still Here. Wow. Nominees to be determined. I'm Still Here. Best Picture. That's the 10th. Nickel Boys. Oh, That probably means Real Pain is out. The Substance, cool. That one gets in. Wicked, I'm assuming? Wicked. So I had wrong a Real Pain, and I had. Oh, wait, is it just a Real Pain that I had wrong? Because I had Nickel Boys in there. Here, wait, let's go back for a second. I want to see that list again. Okay. So Honora, I had in. I had the Brutalist in. I had a complete unknown in. I had Conclave in. I had in Part Two in. I had Emilia Perez in. I had Nickel Boys in. I had the Substance in. So my mistake was I put a Real Pain in where I'm Still Here performed. That's huge. Oh my god. Wow, look at that. I'm Still Here brings itself in to the best picture race, and the country of Brazil goes crazy. Sing Sing snub. Sing Sing misses out, and I knew it was going to happen, and I kept telling people it's going to happen. Hello to everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining along. I will probably be streaming for like another 4 to 5 minutes, but let me know. This is huge. I mean, I don't know if what we were expecting there. I'm Still Here. I think, does that mean it ends with 3 nominations and it ends with Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best International Feature? Huge for that film. Congratulations to that film. The Substance performs very well. That's going to be a narrative you hear. Uh, what else? What was the director one that I was like, whoa, this actually happened? Was it what was it? Oh, it's Mangled. It was Mangled getting in instead of Berger. Like the two Apprentice directors in that one getting in. Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong getting in. Well deserved. I am so happy to see those two get in. I thought that was excellent work on their part. And Sebastian Stan kind of willed his way into this campaign again after what a lot of people are like, oh, this film's just not going to get the attention due to the controversial nature of its film. But how are you guys feeling? Like, there's a bunch of you in watching this video live with me. How do you feel? Like, this is a big deal. Like, this is really cool that a few of these get in. Here, let's see. I have The Dude Abides. Selena Gomez totally gets snubbed for best supporting. Here's the thing. I would put her in above Isabella Rossellini, and I've been pretty honest about that. Thank you for your comment, The Dude Abides. I hope you, if you haven't, I hope you consider subscribing. Good morning to you. Like I said, I would have put her in above Isabella Rossellini. This is no disrespect to the great Isabella Rossellini. This is just a complete belief in the fact that, it's like Isabella Rossellini is in that movie for like 2 minutes. I think she's in it for longer, but she like barely has speaking lines. And she has one monologue in it that I think is good, but like not even like the best scene in the movie. Like, I don't know. Here we go. Congratulations. I don't want to butcher your name, but thank you for commenting. I am Brazilian. I feel Carnival has already begun. Congrats to the country of Brazil, who I know has been championing I'm Still Here for quite a while. I'll be honest, I never even like, I think I had I'm Still Here, but I was having it like in the 13th to like 15th conversation. Like, I thought there was an outside chance, but I didn't really think it was going to get in. So that's huge. It got into Best Picture. If you were a I'm Still Here believer, like, you feel great about today. So congratulations to everyone who's feeling that way right now. And you know what? This is great for me because this means there is going to be a actual distribution for this plan and people are going to go out and be able to see this film. I've been honest about this the whole time. I have not been able to check out I'm Still Here. I've been talking about it now for a few months, but there's just been no screenings where I live here in Sacramento. So hopefully that starts changing. It would feel great if I get the opportunity. To everyone joining along, thank you so much. I hope a few of you have considered subscribing, giving some likes. And do we know which film has the most noms? Off the top of my head, I would assume either Wicked or Emilia Perez. I still think Emilia Perez ended in the double digits, and I wouldn't be surprised if Wicked did either. I think Conclave doesn't because it obviously missed out on director, which hurt its chances. I would assume Emilia Perez. Let's see if anyone's done the write up yet. Some of these people have had to have done the write up. So let me share my screen real quick. Let's see if it. Wicked has four. Wait, the dude abides. Emilia Perez has five, I believe. No, it can't because it got two songs, right? It got one for best supporting. It got one for actress. It got best picture. It got director. That's already six. Here, let's go back to this comment. Do we know which film has the most nominations? Someone hasn't done the breakdown, but let's just, when all else fails, let's go to Reddit Oscar race. Let's just kind of follow what's going on there, and someone will probably do the math for us real quick. Okay, let's do. Has anyone done the count up yet? I'm on Oscar Race, which is a subreddit that I use quite a bit just to kind of get reference. Yeah, Challengers fully shut out. I'm not seeing a total right now. If I am correct, I would say Amelia Perez has the most. Wicked definitely got more. It definitely got actress, supporting actress, picture, uh, visual for sure. So that's four, and I know it got more than that. I think it got sound. It got a few. But so I do think it's probably safe to say maybe the Brutalist got double digits. It wouldn't shock me since it got the Felicity Jones nomination. Again, this is where it's like, do I just count it? But like someone's gonna do the math for me in the most. Due to bites, I agree. I think Amelia Perez got the most. But like let's talk about some of the other ones. Can I go back to let's go back to this list that was presented to us. Let me pull it up. Flo did really well today with the two nominations. Let's show up this list again. Oops. Du-du-du. So this is going to be a Wicked versus Emilia Perez showdown. I I understand the dude why you think that. Like I'm not necessarily even going to fully disagree yet. Like I don't know if there's a clear front runner. I still kind of think the Brutalist is the front runner right now. I do think Honora, as much as I thought it was the front runner at one point, I'm not really feeling that love right now. I think this is kind of like a three pony race. I think the Brutalist is in it. I think Wicked is in the conversation. Emilia Perez has to be taken seriously. Emilia Perez kind of feels like a film that gets a ton of nominations and isn't going to get a ton of wins. Like, I think it could easily get Saldana the nomination and win, which it obviously got her the nomination, but I think it could get her the win. And I think it will probably get a song. Did you guys hear about this? This was like kind of a small little controversy yesterday. The Oscars announced that they will not be doing the song in their show, which honestly I'm all for. Like last year they had I'm Just Ken, and that's enough to justify it. This year we were going to be subjected to two Amelia Perez songs, a Diane Warren song, one Elton John song, and then I forgot what the other one was. Was it the Wild Robot or did that miss out in that category? Whatever it was oh no, it was the Sing Sing song. Like it wasn't going to be a great year of live performance for songs. But here we are. Let's look at this one again a little bit more closely. Best supporting actor. The big one that stands out to me, Jeremy Strong makes it in for Denzel Washington. Like, obviously, like that's about as cool. I'm so jazzed for that. I have been a big believer. I thought The Apprentice was really great, and I'm so sad to not see Denzel in there because I also thought Denzel did great work in Gladiator 2. I obviously clearly over predicted Gladiator 2, but I am happy to see Jeremy Strong get in. That's a well deserving nomination from Jeremy Strong. Let's go to costume design. What did I have as my predictions? I kept like trying to read it live as we were going, and I was just like, it was a lot of work to keep scrolling, especially since I didn't have the order. Costume design, I had Wicked, Dune Part 2, Gladiator 2, A Complete Unknown, Conclave. A Complete Unknown got in, Conclave got in, Gladiator 2 got in, Nosferatu got in, and Wicked got in. So I had Dune Part 2 getting in that I had wrong, and in its spot, Nosferatu got in. So good job for that one. Makeup and hairstyling. I went, let's do the math here. A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, Wicked. Like I know for a fact The Substance was, or I know for a fact, sorry, Nosferatu was not on my list. I had Wicked, The Substance, Emilia Perez, Different Man, Dune Part 2. So Dune Part 2 was the mistake. Oh, here we go. Bowie Z, someone just did the count. Shout out to you. Emilia Perez, 13. I was off by one. I said 14. Wicked, 11. I said 10. It got 11. Complete Unknown and Conclave got 8. Let's see. I'm assuming I said Conclave 10, so I was off by 2. A Complete Unknown, 8. I said 6. Oh, and that's right, because I definitely did not see it getting in for adapted screenplay. So thank you so much, Bowie Z, for this. You know who was one of the big winners in this? Fernanda Torres, and I'm Still Here. Like, that's 3 nominations. That's a lot of nominations for that film, so congratulations. Let's now jump back into this. Best original score, I believe. What did I say? Oh, that's right. Uh, I said Challengers would get in, and that's the one that missed in. Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. I certainly was aware of The Wild Robot being in this category. I thought Challengers was going to get in. I got 4 for 5 here. We have a statement from Diego. From the best film noms I've watched, Wicked, Emilia Perez, Honora, Conclave, and Dune. Which of the others would you recommend I watch first? Well, let's just go through the list real quick. You've seen 5 of them. So let's just kind of pull up again the picture list. Best picture. So you've seen Wicked, Emilia Perez, Honora, Conclave, and Dune. I would suggest The Brutalist is essential viewing. The Brutalist is a film that I think is probably going to win Best Picture. That's my bet on it right now. So that is definitely essential viewing. I would probably prioritize that next. Next, I would say The Substance. It got into a lot of categories today. Like The Substance is definitely a film that, I think you're saying that you did see The Substance. If you haven't seen The Substance, definitely watch that because I think Demi Moore could get the win there. Next, I would honestly probably say I would probably either lean A Complete Unknown or I'm Still Here. I think A Complete Unknown has a really good chance to get Timothée Chalamet the win. And then I'm Still Here. You're now seeing it competitive in multiple categories. That's going to be the underdog story of this year, like the little film that didn't have huge distribution, like really got in there through just an incredible campaign that was largely helped out by the country of Brazil, which seemed all in support of it. Uh, Nickel Boys, I saw the film. I reviewed it last week. I found it ambitious, but it didn't work for me. But I really appreciated what that film was trying to do. So is there any ones that I missed? You said you saw Conclave. You said you saw Nora. You said I already mentioned A Complete Unknown. Uh, Dune Part 2, you already mentioned Emilia Perez. I'm Still Here. Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked. Like, yeah, we got all the films there. So I would say Brutalist. Like, go out if you can, seek Brutalist, see it in the theaters. I know the 3 hour and 45-minute runtime is going to be tough on people. I'll be fully honest. I didn't love the movie. I gave it a 3 out of 5 star review. So that is the case of I liked the movie, didn't love it. I will say some people are going to be turned off by the long runtime. I didn't notice it. As much issues as I had with the movie, the runtime was not one. And I think the intermission really helped in its case. It's about 100-minute segments each. Of course, I'm Still Here, of course. And then, yeah, I mean, this is the huge issue. I can't find I'm Still Here anywhere. So I'll start with The Brutalist. Cheers, man. Thank you, Diego, for joining me this morning. Yeah, I mean, that's the huge issue with a lot of people right now. And it's the issue that I find myself here in Sacramento. I haven't been able to see I'm Still Here. It's not streaming anywhere, obviously. It hasn't been in theaters. I'll have to double check. Maybe it has a theatrical release this weekend that I'll be able to check out and review. Because trust me, I've been hearing your guys' comments. To anyone from the country of Brazil in my comments. Like, one, thank you to all. You've been the real ones. But to anyone in there, like, no, I totally understand it. Like, let's get back to this one. Like, I totally get it. Like, I know why you want me to review the film. This is not the case of me being like stringing you guys along. Like, I have not had the ability to see this film. I vote for the Film Independent Spirit Awards. I paid for the membership. And like, that's a place that I can't see. I'm still here. Like, and I get a bunch of screeners from them. Like, I have no access to see it. So outside of just reaching out to the studio rep and trying to hope that I have a big enough following to get it, like, I haven't had the chance to see I'm Still Here either. So I'm hoping that changes soon. I promise you, the exact second I can, the review is coming to this channel. And then Bo Z left a comment. Sorry, I miscounted. I think you were right. Wicked was 10 nominations, not 11. I think it performed in a category. I see, like, I actually thought, like, Wicked was the one. I think it missed out on an adapted screenplay, and we'll probably go back to this list in a second. But Bowie Z left this comment. Bowie, thank you so much for the work you're doing. Emilia 13, Wicked and the Brutalist 10, A Complete Unknown, and Conclave 8. Thank you so much, Bowie, for these live updates. I'm glad I don't have to do math on the fly. Let's go. Let's actually take a look at some of these. So, best adapted screenplay and best original screenplay. I want to pull up my list again real quick for these categories because I know the screenplays is where I had some big mistakes. So adapted, I had Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, Dune Part 2, Sing Sing. So Complete Unknown was my mistake here. And here was my argument for it, so I can just kind of justify it real quick. For adapted screenplay, I was thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? I really like A Complete Unknown. I really like that movie. That movie is largely a concert movie. Like, do they feel the need to reward A Complete Unknown for this category, despite the fact that it's largely just a ton of music concerts? Like, there's not a lot of in between there. Like, it's like, is it a really a huge screenplay achievement? Was my thought. Where I'm like, look at another film like, I guess Wicked was my one where I'm like, that is adapting a stage musical. And you could argue, like, well, that's also just adapting songs, which that's true. Like, I don't disagree with that. But I mean, that, you know, there is basically the first act of Wicked, the Broadway play, is, I think, clocking in about an hour 15, and this movie's 2.5 hours. Like, they obviously added quite a bit. I was wrong there. Uh, but I mean, Sing Sing is a well deserving one. I would have kicked out A Complete Unknown on this list. Original screenplay, Nora the Brutalist, Real Pain, September 5, The Substance. So I know for a fact September 5 was the one that I'm wrong on here. And I had The Seed of a Sacred Fig getting in. That was my fifth slot. And then I had as my honorable mentions, All We Imagine Is Light, Hard Truths. Like, I really wasn't considering September 5 anymore. It's a good screenplay, actually. I like that movie. Let's scroll down. Best supporting actress. This is one where I went 4 for 5, as I already mentioned. My mistake here was I had Selena Gomez in for The Brutalist. Best original song. This is my mistake here, as I went 4 for 5 on this category. Like a Bird from Sing Sing gets in, and the film that I had in for it was The Wild Robot Touch the Sky. Best documentary. This is the one I wanted to focus on because it went really quick and I had trouble pulling up my list for it. Let's look at documentary. Sugarcane. Okay, here we go. Black Box Diaries. No Other Land. Porcelain War. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. Sugarcane. Sugarcane gets in. No Other Land got in. I predicted both of those. And then I think I was wrong for the rest of the category. Oh no, I said Porcelain War. So I was 3 for 5 in this category, and I did not get Black Box Diaries, and I did not get soundtrack to Coup d'etat. I think it's cool that soundtrack to a Coup d'etat got in. I was really hopeful that the film like Will and Harper could get in, but those films have always struggled with the Academy. Anything that has a celebrity as the starring role within a documentary typically does not do well, whether it's the Mr. Rogers movie, whether it's films like Senior, which is the Robert Downey Jr. documentary about his father, like whether it's the Superman, whether it's the Michael J. Fox documentary, they always just perform badly in the documentary category. Best documentary short, best international feature. I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Emilia Perez, The Seed of a Sacred Fig, Flow. What did I get wrong in this category? I think the only one that I missed on was The Girl with the Needle, and I had the film from Palestine from Ground Zero in this category. Best animated film. I know I went 5 for 5 here. Production design. This one was one. This is again another category. Nosferatu did really well today, considering the fact that I had it at, I think, 0 nominations. Brutalist, Wicked, Dune Part 2, Conclave, Gladiator 2. That was my production design. Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2. Yep. Nosferatu, Wicked. So, okay, this was just as simple as just switch the films around uh, and Nosferatu gets in for Gladiator 2. That again, I overreacted. I overrated Gladiator 2's chances. It got a few nominations. If anyone knows the count for Gladiator 2's nominations, I have a feeling I think it got three, maybe two or three. I think three, and then I think Nosferatu got three. So I think I had predicted Gladiator 2 to get five, which really just means it split the vote with Nosferatu there in that category. Best editing. What did I have for this category? I had The Brutalist, Emilia Perez, Honora, Conclave, Nickel Boys. Honora, The Brutalist, Conclave, yep. Emilia Perez, yep. Wicked. Wicked got in here instead of Nickel Boys. That's right. Best sound. This one I remember being kind of shocked on. Let me find mine. Best sound, I had Wicked, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, A Complete Unknown, Gladiator 2, and I locked them all in. That was my mistake. A Complete Unknown got in, duh. Musical. Dune Part 2 got in, like, duh. Emilia Perez got in, duh. Wicked, duh. The Wild Robot is where I went wrong. You know what's funny is I even see it on my notes right here. For my honorable mentions, I wrote Blitz and Alien Romulus. I'd never even really considered the Wild Robot getting in for sound. Like, so that's really cool. The Wild Robot's one of my favorite films of the year, so I'm not mad to see it. To everyone joining along, thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions or want to share anything, and I'll throw it in the live chat and we can talk about it. But thank you all who are watching. I hope you consider subscribing to this channel to check out more of what we're doing here. I will be going live, basically, not live. I will be broadcasting up into the Oscar ceremony. I'll be having probably at minimum one video a week related to the Oscars and then a bunch of reviews on these movies. Now that we have the list, I'll be making sure to get it. Is this true? Gladiator 2 only got the one nom? I swear it at least got two. Am I missing? I'll have to go through in my notes for that. I'll double check this. But let's go on to the next category. And then, Brianna, I see your comment here, so I'll jump to that in a second. Best visual effects. I just wanted to talk about visual effects real quick. Visual effects. I had Dune Part 2, Wicked, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Alien Romulus, Gladiator 2. Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Wicked. So I think that means that I went 4 for 5, right? Dune Part 2 I got, Wicked I got, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes I got, Alien Romulus I got, and then yeah. So it's Gladiator 2 was my mistake here. Again, let's see. Better Man, like, to be honest, like, this is the one that I'll concede. I just thought if anything else was going to get visual effects, it was going to be Twisters. So I'll concede I was wrong on Better Man, and that now means I have to go seek out and watch Better Man since it's an Oscar-nominated film. Bowie Z, it looks like you are correct. Let me just do it. Yeah, no, it only has the one. I swore I had heard it in a second. I probably heard it in a second because I kept saying, "Oh, it got snubbed." But Bowie, thank you so much for everything that you are doing and giving me the head counts live, as I did not have that. So let's just jump back in. Brianna, let's see your comment. Good morning, just popping in, but I'm shocked about the nominees for directing. Let's just jump to directing since you say it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sean Baker for Adora, Ray Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Audiard for Emilia Perez, Coralie Farge for The Substance. So I want to just say, I actually really like this list of nominees. I really like Conclave, and I really think the direction from Berger is good in that movie. Mangold also does a good job, and I think those are kind of considered the apprentice within this category of directors. Like they are the workhorses of Hollywood. Like they make the middle tier films and make them like elevate them. And to be honest, had you honestly just kicked out Audiard for uh Edward Berger, I would have been great with this category. But regardless, the thing that I am most excited to see, and it's the thing that I loved, was I was so thrilled to see Farge get in for The Substance. Like that was the one, and I'm so glad it got all the love that it did. Like I wish The Substance got Margaret Qualley the nomination. Like that would have just been the perfect like cap for me. Like I would have been thrilled about everything that happened. But like this five, like I feel really good about this list. Like I think Mangold's cool, and I'm glad that it didn't come at the expense of Farge. You mentioned Brianna, and I'll just show your comment real quick. But how was John Chu not nominated? Well, I think you can kind of point to the same thing that happened with Dune Part Two, which let's just kind of talk about that. Let's do the numbers, and I think you gave me the numbers earlier as well. Dune Part Two. Oops. Let's just start from the top. See, this is what happens when you scroll too quick. Dune Part Two. Best sound, best visuals, best cinematography, best picture, best production design. Is that only five? Best sound, best visuals, best cinematography, best picture, best production design. Yeah, Dune underperformed here. So, like, that was the big one for me. Like, Dune underperformed for sure. I think I had it about eight or nine, and it missed out on a lot of key categories. I know I had it in the adapted screenplay, but like to tie back to your question, Brianna, like the reason that John M. Chu missed out was, I think, in many ways the same reason Dune Part Two missed out. Dune Part Two has had the kind of think of the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson discussion where it's just like, oh, like we know we can nominate Return of the King down the line. And if I'm correct, Peter Jackson still got the nomination for the Lord of the Rings films. I don't remember it right off the top of my head, but it's just the case of this was built in IP, and the Academy doesn't always go for that. Like, obviously, James Cameron missed for a sequel a few years ago with Avatar. I think this was just the case of like, if Wicked Part Two lands, or I guess it's called Wicked for Good, like if that movie lands, then yeah, that film will probably get a nomination for sure. If it doesn't, like that's where we're now kind of in this weird question. But that's why essentially I think John M. Chu and I think Denis Villeneuve. I think Denis Villeneuve's a little bit of a shocking one. Denis Villeneuve, it's just this plain and simple case. Dune Part Two would have gotten the nominations, a lot more nominations if the film came out in November. Maybe it wouldn't have performed as well. And to be honest, it kind of felt like Warner Brothers like really just sat out this. But it's I think that's a lot to do with it, where it's just like this movie came out in March, and that's why Denis Villeneuve like kind of misses out. I hope that kind of explains your question. I'm Still Here is wonderful. Again, hope to review that movie soon. Subscribe to my channel so you get notified when that review comes out. Thanks for the comment, Anderson. Terry R. I'm shocked that John Chu wasn't nominated. Also, no Pamela Anderson. And I just answered this John M. Chu question. I think it's as simple as the case of it's the directing branch selects a certain type of movie, and they didn't feel the need to do it to John M. Chu. And if they feel the need, they'll do it for the finale, not the first part. Also, no Pamela Anderson. And yeah, let's talk about that because I know a lot of people were predicting uh, Pamela Anderson slash Jamie Lee Curtis. I'll be honest, I never bought into the hype for either of them. Like, I thought both of them were actually really good in that movie. The Last Showgirl's a pretty okay film that has pretty good performances in it. I just it didn't perform obviously, and there was a lot of people second guessing themselves. That was one where I'm like, do I second guess myself, or like do I just say stay strong? And I stayed strong, and both of those came to fruition for me. Let's jump into this next comment. Thank you for the commentary. When I saw Mangle came up, I was about to cry because that means no Corley Farge law. I thought the same thing. But then she got in, I was like, what? Yeah, no, that's quite literally how I felt as well. Where I saw it, I'm like, oh, well, Mangles means Farge is out. I'm glad to see that wasn't the case. Directing branch is probably the most highbrow voting branch. Chu is way too populist, I fear, to get in. I don't know if it's necessarily an issue with populace. However, I understand your comment here. Like I understand what you were saying. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. Like the idea of populace. Like I think of a film like James Cameron getting it, but I think it does have to be this cornerstone like within Hollywood. Like obviously, if I'm correct, Kaczynski misses out for Top Gun Maverick, and I think that's a pretty similar comp that you could give for Wicked here. But thank you for the comment, Angelo. Uh, Again, I don't want to butcher your name, Mihala, but I'm happy for Sebastian Stan's nomination. Yeah, let's talk about this because these were the two nominations I got most excited for, as I already mentioned. Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong in this category. Like, yeah, no, I did feel great about this. Like, this was the one that excited me the most. I was a little worried about Sebastian Stan not getting in, and I thought Sebastian Stan was deserving to get in for The Apprentice for playing Donald Trump. And I kept saying, I was like, and I'll have to go back because I know someone on my YouTube comments quite literally said, like, the Donald Trump is happening. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, there's going to be no retaliation. Like, I was a little worried, especially with the tone that has been set the past few days, slash, past few weeks, slash, uh, everything going on. Like, I was just like, I don't know if anyone wants to deal with a vindictive president. And that was my huge worry this year. I was like, I don't think The Apprentice will get seen because I don't think anyone wants to deal with the Trump in the room. I'm happy to see it wrong. This movie was in my top 10 best films of the year list. Stan and Jeremy Strong do great work. Stan and Strong being the naiad of this year. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they both got in. The Substance got snubbed in the sound design and cinematography. Yeah, I mean, this is the case. Obviously, The Substance could have performed better, but I'm also like of the belief like I didn't know if The Substance was even going to get in. Like I still kind of thought like the idea of Demi Moore being a lock was something to worry about. Like I was like, I don't know if this is guaranteed. So the fact that it got in, like alone, and it got into big categories like directing, that it got into picture, that it got into actress, is the win for me. Like, yeah, I would have loved to see Margaret Qualley. I think it does have great sound. Like, I would have loved all of that, but like ultimately, like I'm happy with what we got. I'm annoyed I didn't take a gamble on I'm Still Here for Best Picture with all the foreign voters' love for Fernanda. It makes perfect sense. It would get the number one votes for picture too. The international film I kept looking at was Seed of a Sacred Fig, which obviously got the international vote. I was wrong on this. I didn't know if I'm Still Here would get in. I thought the tough thing was, were you going to bet it on the Fernanda Torres? And I had put her in my fifth, but I wasn't sure. And if you didn't think she was going to get into actress or that she was a little wobbly to get in there, like that's why the nomination doesn't happen. Let's jump to this next category. Bowie also left a comment. Yeah, sadly, The Substance wasn't shortlisted for sound, which is crazy for me. I totally agree. I don't get this nominate the lack of a nomination here in this category. I'm gonna be right back. Don't leave. I'll be probably streaming for about another 10 minutes. I just desperately am in need of water. So I'll be right back. Sorry, this is what happens when it is I wake up at 4:50 a.m. and forget to grab water. I've been talking for now well over an hour without water, so I just desperately needed my water. I'll be streaming for about probably till about 6:45. So just keep throwing in your questions. And to all those watching, thank you. I hope you all consider subscribing to my channel if you already haven't. But yeah, I agree. The fact that the substance wasn't shortlisted for sound, I think that's crazy. Like the sound in that movie is so disgustingly gross. Think the wild robot's going to win anything? Well, it's the question of do you think this movie is going to win best animated feature? I would venture no. I think Flow is really gaining momentum in the best animated feature, and I think it wins animated feature. So that's my thought. I think it's not going to get into this category just simply because of that. Oh, missing the nomination I can accept, but not even being shortlisted. This is in conversation for the substance. The sound makes the film, in my honest opinion. I agree. Like the substance, it has great sound. Like it truly does. Like it is so fundamental for that movie to have the sound that it does. Same. Honestly, I should be happy that it got four big categories and overall got five nominations. Finally, some justice for horror films. Yeah, this is one of the best performers of a horror film that we've had in a second. I think Get Out got the Best Picture nomination, and I know it got the original screenplay win, but like we don't see horror really get this recognition. Like Guillermo del Toro has done horror light. Like Nightmare Alley is horror adjacent. The Substance is a body horror film. Yes, Angelina Jolie missed the comment or missed the nominations, which weirdly Maria just got the random. I think he got cinematography, which is actually well deserved. Yeah, didn't make the short list as you mentioned here. Pamela Anderson got up early for nothing. I mean, yeah, I mean, Pamela Anderson, the win was just how much recognition she got. Obviously, it would have been incredible for her if she had gotten the Best Actress nomination. She got SAG. She got a lot of press for that. Like, she really, truly did about as good as they could. I honestly didn't think she'd get anything. So the fact that she got Golden Globe recognition in nomination and a SAG nomination, like, that's good for her. Like, that is a legit great career moment for her. So I don't think it's necessarily a loss. Obviously, she wanted the Oscar nomination. Terry R. Wouldn't Sons of the Lambs be considered horror? I definitely think it is horror. Again, this is kind of to me, I've always considered Silence of the Lambs more thriller with horror adjacent vibes to it. But I mean, even then, like that movie is 19 either 90 or 91. Like we are quite literally talking about a few years, like what is that? Like 30 years plus removed. Like this is kind of the thing. Like go down the history of the Academy and see how truly often they've given a horror film the recognition. Like it's very little in the above the line categories. Like Hereditary doesn't get Tony Collette her nomination. Like there's so many examples of this not going the way. Like obviously you get a few from below the lines, like you'll see it maybe sneak into a visual effects, you'll see it sneak into a production design, you'll see it sneak into some of those categories, but you don't see a ton of it getting in for the above the lines, and you specifically don't see it getting in for director, and you don't see it getting in for picture. Did Cronenberg ever make a film that was nominated for best uh director that was a true horror film? I'm trying to remember if he's been nominated for an Oscar. I can't come up with that on the top of my head. I'm sure he has, but yeah, I mean that's the trouble of it all. I'm trying to see. I think someone knocked on the door. Maybe they did, but yeah, I mean like I, I to me, Silence of the Lambs is not necessarily even a true horror film. But let's talk about a few other things. Yeah, Bowie it verges more on crime slash thriller than horror. Yeah, I mean that's I agree. I like that's more in the line of Zodiac. That's more in the line of Seven. Silence of the Lambs is. I understand why it's considered horror. Hopefully, Flow wins because it's an independent movie, so I root for it more. I think that's a fair thing. Like, it is always fun to see a film overperform. Sorry, I keep hearing stuff outside my door, so I'm just trying to make sure it wasn't someone knocking for me. Yeah, I always think it's fun for an international, or when one, this would be an international film, but an independent film makes a splash and really gets its name out there, and Flow's a deserving win of it. Hereditary, U.S. Possession, The Witch, The Last Train to Busan, even Midsommar, all snubbed. Like, I mean, yeah, like this is the Academy. Like, we know they have some bias against genre. We see it all the time, and to see it actually get in there, and then back to the Silence of the Lambs, psychological horror thrill. I mean, yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, it obviously has horror vibes in Silence of the Lambs. It's not the substance to me. Like, the substance is truly true definition of horror. In body horror, and body horror isn't necessarily horror. And for instance, I don't find the substance very scary to watch. It's a very gross film. It's a really like grotesque movie in a lot of times, but like it's not like something that scares me per se. But like that is a body horror. Like body horror is not necessarily one that people love to deal with, and like they sometimes get squeamish or they look down on it. This is a true art form, and Farge does something pretty wonderful with the substance. So I'm glad to see this one get the nomination. To everyone watching along, thank you all. You don't know how much the support means, and I hope some of you consider subscribing along. Let me grab some more water. I'm going to be streaming for about another 10 minutes before I need to start getting ready for work. Yep, Brazil did wonderful today with their nominations. Let me go back because I know I was looking at some of these nominations. So I think I was on I think I was on was I doing best production design before I stopped? Let's just kind of see my list. I think I was. No, I think I had done production. I had done sound, I had done visuals, I had done cinema. Okay, I was on cinematography. So let's just look at the cinematography that I had. I had The Brutalist, I had Conclave, I had Dune Part 2, I had Emilia Perez, I had Nickel Boys. This was a real snub to me. Nickel Boys, as much problems as I had with that film, I did not have an issue with the cinematography. I think the cinematography is actually in many ways revolutionary and groundbreaking. And I think Maria has great cinematography, so I don't really want to diss that movie. Like it has actually incredible cinematography as well. So I think I got 3 for 5 in this category. I said The Brutalist. I said Conclave, which Conclave missed out for cinematography is actually a shock to me. Like that movie has really luscious cinematography that I just thought the Academy would go for. Dune Part 2, I got right. Emilia Perez, I got right. Nickel Boys, I got wrong. So Nickel Boys and Conclave, I got wrong. And in those places, we saw Maria and Nosferatu. Let's just talk about that real quick. Nosferatu, like we're talking about a film that like didn't get the recognition above the line. This was a real win for it below the line. I didn't know if we were going to see these nominations in it. It was when it was happening, like, oh, are we actually going to get a Nosferatu Best Picture nom here? We obviously didn't, but like that's cool that Nosferatu did as well as it did in categories that I think it is deserving in. Best actor, I went 4 for 5, and I am so happy that I am wrong. Obviously, I actually think Daniel Craig is pretty good in Queer. It's just a movie that I didn't connect with at all, and that movie didn't work for me at all. But like, it's a cool nomination, and that list right there: Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Coleman Domingo, Ray Fiennes, Sebastian Stan. That's about as perfect of a list as you can get. Like that is a truly perfect best actor. That is a well-deserving 5. Like, yeah, is there a snub there? Like, sure. Like, I think there is a snub. I think you could easily say there's a snub, but like that is deserving of a 5. Like, yeah, is Daniel Craig great in it? Queer, like, yeah, I think he's really good in Queer, but like, I'm not bumping anyone off this list. I think that's a perfect actor list. Let's get to a few of your comments. Not one of the three Netflix documentaries got in, even Daughters will. So it was Daughters, it was Will and Harper, and it was what was the third one? Remind me of what the third one was, RC, if you're still watching. I'm blanking on what the third Netflix documentary was. But yeah, I mean, the documentary one is historically a weird category to predict because you just never know how this branch is going to go. And there's always films that you're like, oh, that will get the nomination, that doesn't. Uh, Thank you for subscribing. Interesting observation. Thanks, R3 Mercado. Farge in director and Torres in lead actress. Top two highlights of Oscar nominations morning. Yeah, the substance getting in for Farge, I think that would be one of my highlights. The Apprentice love for its lead and best supporting actor. That's another of my love. And I think the biggest surprise was I'm Still Here getting in for Best Picture. I feel bad for Real Pain. I actually thought that one, I actually felt pretty secure on Real Pain getting that. I had it at about 7 or 8. So I was shocked to see that one not get in. All the lead actress nominations are in Best Picture nominated films. That is definitely rare. We never see that happen. It is often the case where I think we've had some years where it's like literally only one actress. Like usually the actors are in it, but the actresses are not. In this case, we had Cynthia Erivo, we had Carla Sofia Gasson, we had Mikey Madison, we had Demi Moore, we had Fernanda Torres. Which I just want to say, I went 5 for 5. Like I nailed this category. So like if you have any doubt on subscribing to me, like that's the analysis that I can do. And I felt pretty solid on this one for a while. I was trying to feel out everything, and ultimately I went well. I'm gonna have to do a full breakdown, but I did pretty well today. I feel good about that. Director is where I had the miss. Sean Baker, Brady Corbet, James Mangold, Audiard, Farge. And as I've already discussed, the miss came from the fact that I thought Conclave, Edward Berger would get in. And like I said, when he got it, when Mangold got in, I'm like, well, that's it. Like Farge's out. And it came out the expensive burger. I don't hate this list of 5. Again, Emilia Perez is not my thing. It doesn't seem to be a lot of people's thing. Not a bad list, though, of directors. This is actually going to end up being a pretty good Oscar year, it looks like. Marcos, Fernanda's nomination was everything for me. I mean, listen, I see you guys all in the YouTube comments. Like, I know there's been a lot of passion for I'm Still Here. And yeah, I'm glad it paid off. Like, I am glad to see a film like this sneak in. I always think it's cool when international films get the recognition in the States. So hopefully that means I'll be able to see and review this film. So I hope you consider, if you haven't already, subscribing to my channel so I can continue talking about the Oscars and so I can continue talking about Fernanda Torres and I'm Still Here as we get closer to it. Nosferatu, yes, it was a beautiful film, deserved for cinematography. RC Mercado, you mentioned it. The Remarkable Life of Evelyn. Yeah, I forgot that was a Netflix film. Yeah, that was one that I had predicted. I didn't get in. I thought a movie about World of Warcraft. That's why I was a little bit like, are we actually going to get that? But we did, or we didn't. Actually, I should say we didn't. Documentary, like I said, always a hard one to predict. Wait, I only just realized Challengers got 0 nominations. Yep, I thought for sure the score would get in, and it didn't, and I'm bummed about that. That when I make my video tomorrow, which just guys be aware, Friday, January 24th, 7 a.m., I will be dropping a video, 5 biggest winners and 5 biggest snubs at this year's Oscars 2025, whatever the video's title will actually be. Challengers is probably going to get on that 5 snubs because it's like that score. And I like the movie. I didn't love the movie, but I like Challengers quite a bit. The score is the best part of the movie. Evelyn was the third Netflix doc. Nosferatu snub in Best Picture was sad. Louise, like I said, I never necessarily believed Nosferatu, and thank you for the comment, by the way. I never necessarily believed Nosferatu was going to get in for Best Picture, but like I said, as I was seeing a few of the nominations, I think it ended up getting 3 below the lines. I was like, oh, is this a sneaky gonna get in for Best Picture? Honestly, the one that I would have loved to see from it was I would have loved to have seen Lily Rose Depp more in the conversation. I would assume she'd be considered a lead in that film, though there could be some category fraud that suggests she's supporting. I don't know how I would have felt about that. But yeah, I mean, Nosferatu, I think it wouldn't have been one of my 10 personally. I like that movie. It's not one of my 10 favorite films of the year. I actually had a feeling A Real Pain isn't going to get it. Somebody I know said it was, but my feeling was right. Yeah, I've been saying it for a while. I thought A Real Pain was comfortably in this category. But thank you for the comment. The Apprentice is the Naiad this year, not the Last Showgirl. Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, I believe The Apprentice is a more deserving nomination than Naiad was last year. Where I'm like, I didn't really get the Naiad love this year. I understand why The Apprentice is getting seen, and I think it really willed itself into nominations. Fernanda is the best actress. I can't comment on it yet because I haven't seen the film, but hope to see it soon. And thank you for your comment, Esther. I hope you consider subscribing for when I do finally get to see I'm Still Here. Question: do you believe the internet passion for I'm Still Here could help at the Oscars? Good question. Thank you for the question, Pamela. Let's look at the categories it got in. Let's just do a quick word search. Yeah, it gets into three categories: international, actress, picture. So I'm just gonna say right now, I don't think it's getting picture. I would put it as a pretty low shot at getting picture. Actress, I'm really believing the Demi Moore, and maybe that's gonna pay off wrong for me, but I'm really buying the Demi Moore hype. And then I kind of think if that's not happening, I think Mikey Madison would be the second. But like Fernanda Torres, I think is higher than like Cynthia Erivo and Carla Sofia Gascon. Like, so if we're talking about there, like, could I see a world where maybe it's like a runoff between Demi Moore and Fernanda Torres? Like, that wouldn't necessarily shock me. I think the category that it got the best chance of getting a boost in is Best Picture and or sorry, Best International Picture. And that is fully on the belief of if you think Emilia Perez is weak, and is going to be a film that garnered a lot of nominations, not a lot of wins, then yeah, I think that would be the case where some of the internet backlash towards Emilia Perez, which I usually try to ignore, but for Emilia Perez, like there is legitimate criticism of that movie. And I mean, obviously it didn't perform bad today. The really, I said 14 and I think it got 13, and it's just because I was bullish on the what's it called? I was bullish on the Selena Gomez nomination, but ultimately, uh if you did not believe in Emilia Perez, I think I'm Still Here is the film that would win an international picture. So that's my quick thoughts. The more I think about it, the more I agree the Brutalist is on track to win Best Picture. I don't have another film that I feel so high on about the belief of it winning Best Picture. Like let's just look at the 10 again. Honora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Doom Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked. Let's just talk about it. Honora could. I think Honora could win, even if I just don't know if that's the type of film that wins Best Picture. The Brutalist is the type of film that wins Best Picture. Does have a lot to say, has a lot to say about the current moment of the world. A Complete Unknown, like that's an acting feast. Conclave, like, yeah, actually, there's a world where Conclave, like, is the kind of the traditional Oscar movie, has a lot of Oscar elements, but the fact that he didn't get into director kind of suggests it's a little weaker. Dune Part 2, like, no, like it underperformed today. Like, I don't see Dune Part 2 winning picture. Amelia Perez, like, could win picture. Like, it's definitely in the possibility with the amount of nominations it got. I think I'm just holding out hope that it doesn't. I'm Still Here. Like, I guess it's now in the conversation since it overperformed, but I don't think it's going to win. Nickel Boys, I just don't see a world. It's just not getting enough support. The Oscar nomination and recognition is cool enough. And I think that's the win. The Substance, like, kind of a sneaky one. Like, maybe that one could overperform. But again, I wouldn't necessarily feel it. And I think Wicked's in the conversation to win. Like, I do honestly think it. But right now, I'm feeling the Brutalist because I don't really get a picture of what else would get in there. I'll go for a few more minutes. I was surprised that Burger didn't get in, and yeah, Challengers and Queer got dust. Sad. Yeah, I mean, they came at the expense of a few other ones. Oh, I got a lot of comments, so let's get through this. I didn't believe it either, honestly, but seeing the nominations gave me hope. Not gonna lie, agree. Lily Rose was slept on hard. Thank you for your comment, Louise, and thank you for watching along. I'm Still Here is the first Brazilian movie to be nominated for Best Picture. This year's Oscars is historical for Brazil. Go Fernanda. Yes, the fan fervor for I'm Still Here is going to be at an all time high. And honestly, they deserve it today. Thank you for your comment. But true, people will vote for Amelia International, but I don't think they also give it a win in picture. I don't think Wicked, a known part one, will win. Conclave missed director and ACU missed editing, a complete unknown missed editing. I agree with your logic. I think you're right. I think Emilia Perez will win international. I don't think Wicked will win. However, this is kind of the case where I'm like, I get that you might want to hold off till next year for Wicked for Good. I kind of think the first half of Wicked is probably going to end up being the stronger act. And, Wicked for Good doesn't have a defying gravity. Like it has For Good, like it has a really few, like really core, great songs in it. I just have a feeling like the showstopper is defying gravity. So I would tell the Oscars if I was personally consulting or like giving suggestions, like don't like feel like Wicked Part 2 like you need to hold out. Like honestly, if you want to reward Wicked, this would probably be the movie to reward it for. Conclave missed director, yeah, and a complete unknown missed editing. Truth, that is a really good point. Thank you for your comment and thank you for all your help today. Bowie, Nora only got 6 noms, so that leaves Realist with 10 noms in the strongest position. Yep, that does. I totally agree with that comment. There is always the case where they don't get in, where it just doesn't matter how many. And like the films that end up getting the most nominations, I think an Irishman, I think a Power of the Dog, like where a bunch of them basically go home empty handed. Flo only got 2 nominations, while No Robot 3 noms. The competition for best animated film is so on. Wild Robot got 3? I thought it only got 2. Wild Robot. Original animated sound. Oh, I forgot. I got score animated sound. Okay, yeah. No, that is a good case to make for the fact that it could win uh best animated picture. I did forget that. Thank you for reminding me. Wild Robot getting sound is strange. I will admit I was surprised at that. Picture for I'm Still Here is out of hope, but the nom is already historical. I really hope Fernanda Torres wins because of the whole 1999 Oscar situation involving Harvey Weinstein. Fernanda's mom got snubbed. Yeah, I do know the history on that. So it's kind of nice to see that rectified. She was Central Station's main actress. Thank you for that clarification, Pamela, and thank you to everyone watching along. It's either going to be Demi Moore or Mikey Madison, I think, but we will see. I will throw Fernanda Torres in it. I think those are really the only three. Anyway, I got to go. Sending love and light. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to be signing off in a second, too. For a while, I hoped All We Imagined With Light would suddenly just pop off in Best International Feature. I think this is just the case of All We Imagine Is Light was not eligible because I believe was it a France production? It was basically like they had to choose one or the other. And I think it was a France production and they chose Emilia Perez. The only real chance that All We Imagine Is Light had was getting into Best Picture, and it wasn't going to get in without the international support. Any thoughts on the internet backlash for Emilia? Could it shake the votes? I don't really typically believe in the online backlash, but it's definitely real. Like I don't think it really affects voters, but this one's very loud, and I think the issue is Emilia divisive or Emilia Perez. You watch it, it's divisive. Thank you for your comment, Pamela. Oscar snub number 2 for Danielle Deadwater. Yep, I forgot to mention that. To be honest, the piano lesson really didn't work for me, and I actually didn't love Danielle Deadwater's performance in it. I think her performance in Till was much better. But thank you for the comment. I'm Still Here. Yep. And this will probably be my last comment for the day because I need to start getting ready for work. Brazil is literally celebrating as hard as the World Cup win, parades, discounts, everything. Brazil is literally hopeful again, that's probably a great place to end it at. But thank you, everyone who has been watching along. I hope a lot of you considered subscribing. I will be covering the Oscars race up until the first week of March when the Oscar ceremony will be happening. There's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to discuss. Tomorrow, I will be talking about my 5 biggest wins. I'll be talking about the 5 biggest snubs. Probably over this weekend, I will talk about some of the outrageous predictions that I had earlier this year that went wrong. Guess what? At one point, I was like, Megalopolis could win. At one point, I was like, Horizon Chapter One. Could this be the revolutionary film that just changes the film industry? Like, get a Best Picture nomination, get Kevin Costner in. Joker Folly Ado. Saturday Night Live. I'll be talking about all those mistakes that I had probably this weekend. Hoping to have a few other reviews for you guys later this week. So thank you all to everyone who has watched along. I hope some of you consider subscribing to my channel moving forward. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow, Friday, January 24th, 7 a.m. Thank you. Take care. Thanks for joining me for this past hour. Great live stream, Ben. Thank you. Thank you, RC. Take care.